My head was splitting with pain. I jerked my eyes open, gasping for breath. The familiar smell of instant noodles and dust. The second-hand sofa creaked beneath me. My phone buzzed violently by the pillow, its screen glaringly bright. Mary. It felt like an ice pick had stabbed through my chest. The fragments of memory exploded. A torrential downpour, the screeching of brakes, and on my phone screen was her last WeChat message. George, just go see the doctor by yourself. I can't leave Mike's birthday dinner. He's just gone through a breakup and is really down. Then came endless agony and darkness. Did I really die like that? For the sake of driving her dumbass male best friend's good-for-nothing buddies around? I pinched my arm hard. It hurt. Checking the date on my phone, damn. 2 years ago. The day before Mike's birthday. I'd pulled an all-nighter working overtime, and now I had a low-grade fever, my throat feeling like I'd swallowed razor blades. The phone kept ringing urgently. I picked it up without saying a word. Hello? George. Mary's voice came through, crisp and full of that entitled tone. You got paid, right? Transfer me $5,000 right away. We need to buy Mike a game console tonight. Poor guy, his ex ran off with his money. We've got to help him. Not a single "are you tired?" or feeling better. In my past life, right at this moment, I was running a fever but still gritted my teeth and transferred her $5,000, enduring it for a whole week until I was coughing up blood before finally going to the hospital. And her? She even complained that I dragged out a simple cold for so long. Mary, my throat tightened as if clogged with sand. The salary has to cover rent, and I need to save some for the hospital. There was a pause on the other end of the line. The hospital? Mary's voice immediately darkened. You have a fever? How did that happen? Can't you just take some medicine first? Transfer me $5,000 first. I already promised Mike. It'd be so rude to bail. Do you have any fever reducers at home? Take a couple to hold you over. Exactly the same as in my past life. Mike's affairs always take top priority. As for my life or death, just make do with whatever. No. I tightened my grip on my phone, my voice low but unfamiliar in its firmness. My health and rent are more important than his gaming console. If Mike wants a birthday gift, he can buy it himself, or use your own paycheck to get it. I paused, recalling the mess from my past life. Didn't you just get paid a couple of days ago? George, you. Mary's voice rose sharply, furious. Beep, beep, beep. The call ended abruptly. The world fell silent. No more of that heart-wrenching panic from my past life. Instead, it felt like a heavy weight had been lifted, leaving me with a light, almost chilly sense of relief. I propped myself up, boiled water, dug out the dusty fever medicine, and swallowed it down. Outside the window, a small patch of sunlight shone brightly. This time, I'll take care of myself first. My phone remained silent all morning, as if dead. A notification suddenly popped up in my moments. Mary, choosing a gift for my best friend. Hope it makes him happy. The accompanying photo showed a gaming console display in a mall, with that eye-catching flagship model gleaming conspicuously. I tugged at the corner of my mouth, feeling somewhat amused. Last week, when I wanted to buy a mouse priced over $200, she didn't even bat an eye. Isn't the current mouse usable enough? Save some money. Now, when it comes to buying things for Mike, she's suddenly enthusiastic. I left for the office and settled into my workstation. Sue turned her head and saw me. Oh my George, your face looks like it's been painted white. Did you stay up all night again? Hurry up and take leave to go to the hospital. In my past life, I would have definitely said, it's fine, I can handle it. Afraid of losing that bit of money. And even more afraid she'd think I was too much trouble. Thanks, Sue. I've taken the afternoon off to go to the hospital. This time, I said it quite calmly. Just as I sat down, my phone rang again. Mary. Hello. George. Her voice softened a little. Don't be mad. I was wrong this morning. Mike is celebrating his birthday at Times Corner tonight, and he said he wants to see you. Come join us for some fun, okay? In my past life, I gave in and went. And what happened? Mike got drunk, put his arm around her shoulder, and said to a table full of strangers, Mary, your taste is terrible. Look at George's outfit, so shabby. Doesn't even have decent clothes, does he? Can't even toast the birthday boy? No respect. I have to go to the hospital in the afternoon, so I won't be going. My tone was flat. I'll eat near the hospital tonight. No need to save me any food. George. Mary exploded. What's your problem? Do you have an issue with Mike? He's my best friend. Why can't you just be nice to him? How am I supposed to face my friends when you act like this? The voice was sharp and urgent, like a machine gun firing. I waited patiently for her to finish yelling before speaking. I have no issue with him. My issue is that you always prioritize him over me. Mary, get this straight. I'm your husband, not an ATM and nanny for you and your friends. This time I'm done. With that, I hung up. My fingers swiped across WeChat, finding the pinned chat labeled Mary. Long press. Delete contact. Confirm. Add to blacklist. Join. Peace and quiet. Sue's eyes nearly popped out of her head. I grabbed my bag. Sue, going to see the doctor. And off I went. Community hospital. The doctor listened to my lungs, took my temperature, and frowned deeply. 38.6 degrees Celsius. Your cold has gotten worse. Keep delaying and it'll turn into pneumonia. Don't take it lightly. Take your medicine on time and rest more. Go pay first. Swiftly, he scribbled out several slips. Payment slip, $321. In my past life, I would have been heartbroken. That's enough to buy 2 of her lipsticks. I tough it out. This time, I swiped my card calmly, spending my own money to treat my own illness. Only right and proper. Stepping out of the hospital, my phone pinged. A WeChat message. Jack, George, barbecue tonight? Same spot. Project bonus came in. My treat. Hurry up. In my past life, 8 out of 10 times I'd reply, sorry Jack, Mary's home alone, / gotta keep her company. My buddies almost stopped reaching out. My fingers flew across the screen, sure. Be there in half an hour. After sending it, I imagine Jack's expression must be priceless right now. Passing by them all, I went in. Fast fashion store. This time, I didn't think about whether she'd find this color tacky, and picked a navy blue pure cotton t-shirt for 99 yuan. In my past life, that could have been a month's worth of cigarette money for me. Enough for her to buy a few cups of milk tea. I paid directly, too lazy to even tear off the tag. Took a trip to the liquor store. Jack loves good wine. Used to only think about buying her lipstick. Boss, this one. I pointed to a bottle around 200, grabbed it, and took it with me. Wong's Skewers Bar. Jack had already ordered meat skewers and beer, waiting. Holy shit. George, you actually came? Jack's eyes nearly popped into his beer bottle, staring at the alcohol in my hand and my new t-shirt. And you brought booze? Got new clothes? Did the sun rise from the west? Before, whenever I asked you out, your phone was practically glued to your hand. Couldn't sit for an hour before you had to bail. I plopped down, cracked open a beer, poured myself a full glass, and took a big gulp. I was stupid before. Always thought putting her first was what love meant. Ended up living like a 24/7 on-call laborer. Jack poured me another drink. Should have figured it out sooner. Look at you. Making nearly 10 grand a month, right? And you've been spending it all on her. Dressing like an intern. The guys invite you out 10 times, and you manage to sneak away once. That's like hitting the annual bonus. Last time I saw those two, Mary and Mike, shopping, Mike was carrying that bag. Damn, a brand worth nearly 2 grand. Wasn't that the one you were drooling over? Seriously, Jack was fuming on my behalf. I drowned my sorrows in silence. My phone buzzed. Text. Even though she's blocked on WeChat, she still finds a way. George, where are you? Mike and I had a huge fight. I'm so pissed. He complained the game controller I gave him wasn't top tier. Said my taste was trash. Hurry up and send me 2,000. I need to buy new headphones to smooth things over. You ruined his birthday. Between the lines, grievances, blame, asking for money. As if Mike's unhappiness was entirely my fault. I stared at the screen, and the faint remnants of resentment and longing left by my past life memories seemed to be completely extinguished by this text message. Open the message. Deleted. The phone slapped face down on the greasy table. Raising a glass to Jack. Come on, bottoms up. Skewers. Speak some human words. Boss, 10 more lamb kidneys. That stubborn knot in my heart called Mary. Click came undone. Payday. The phone buzzed. Salary deposited 8,037 yen. 6. After social insurance deductions. Previous life operation. Instantly transferred 7,000 to Mary, leaving scraps to survive. This time, open the banking app. Transferred 3,000 yuan. Note, September rent. The remaining 5,037.6 yuan was deposited into my own bank account, with the password being my mom's birthday plus my employment date. Not even the king of heaven could touch it. Just finished the operation, the phone rang. Mary. The words came out as an accusation. George, only 3,000? What are you trying to do? I need to buy Mike a birthday gift this month. He even has a lunar birthday, and I want to get a new phone. What can this little money even cover? She said it as if it were perfectly justified, without a hint of hesitation. I kept my eyes fixed on the code on the computer screen, fingers typing nonstop. Rent is 3,000 transferred. The rest I'm saving for a decent place later, or maybe signing up for a course to learn something new. If you want a new phone or money for your friend's gift, use your own salary. My salary isn't enough. Her voice instantly turned shrill. George, what do you mean by that? Don't you love me anymore? You used to say, Mary, I'll buy you whatever you want. How could you be like this now? My fingers paused for a moment. Love isn't about being a bottomless pit for someone to dump money into. I used to love you, but now I need to learn to love myself first. My tone was flat. If you think not giving you money means I don't love you, then I took a deep breath and said it for the first time. Maybe we're just not right for each other. George, you bastard. Mary's scream nearly pierced my eardrum. I didn't listen and hung up directly. The world instantly became much more peaceful and pleasant to the ears. I opened a tech forum and started looking for freelance work. In my past life, I always said, no time, need to accompany her. Soon, I landed a small project that would probably earn me 2,000. I casually opened a shopping website and typed mechanical keyboard. My worn-out membrane keyboard, used for 3 years, barely had any bounce left in the spacebar. Placed the order, 368 yuan. Spending my own money on something I want feels amazing. I enjoyed a peaceful few days at home, debugging code for freelance work. The phone rang like a ghost screaming, Mary. As soon as I answered, a wailing voice came through. George, save Mike. Help. He's in big trouble. He lost 50,000 in a poker game. If he can't pay, they'll take one of his legs. Wow. Memories from my past life came flooding back. The same crying, the same amount. I softened, borrowed 30,000 from colleagues, maxed out 2 credit cards to scrape together 50,000 and bail Mike out. I lived on instant noodles for half a year to pay off the debt. In the end, Mike forgot all about it and even joked, wasn't that what he was supposed to do? My heart is as cold as frozen stone right now. If he loses money, he can deal with it himself, or let his parents clean up the mess. I have no money, and I won't lend any. The voice was icy and devoid of warmth. Are you fucking inhuman? Mary's sobs choked into a scream. 50,000. It could kill him. Mike is my best friend. Are you just going to stand by and watch him get beaten to death? Are you even human? I almost laughed in anger. He's your friend. None of my business. Lost money gambling? Serve him right. If you care, you save him. Don't bother me. I paused, then added in a tone as casual as discussing lunch. Also, I'm warning you, Mary. If you dare to touch even a cent of the family money to fill his bottomless pit, I spat out those 2 words, we're getting divorced. Dead silence on the other end of the line. Only heavy breathing could be heard. You won't help him, is that it? Fine. Just fine. Mary's voice carried a desperate, do-or-die ferocity. If you won't help, I will. I'll move in with him right now to figure something out. I'll stay by his side. I actually laughed. A laugh of complete liberation. Go ahead. When you move, remember to take every single one of your things with you. Not a single thing left behind. With that, I hung up. Forget it. This ill-fated relationship is finally coming to an end. The last bit of heaviness in my heart has completely lifted. The next day, I left work as usual, inserted the key into the lock, turned it, opened the door. The room had changed. Mary's once-packed closet is now empty. The dressing table bare. That pink sofa cushion in the living room that Mike said looked nice, gone. On the dining table, a crumpled piece of paper. Picking it up, "George, you'll regret this. Come find me at Mike's place when you've come to your senses." Mary, I looked at the note, let out a ha, crumpled it into a ball, and tossed it into the trash. No disappointment, no suffocation. Instead, I took a long, deep breath. The air in the rental room had never felt so fresh and smooth. Free at last, damn, it feels good. Looking around, her gaze fell on her own bed. It was covered with that pink lace bedsheet she adored, so saccharine it made her sick. The more she looked at it, the more irritated she became. Pulling out her phone, she opened the shopping app and searched solid color bedding sets. I picked out a fresh-looking dark blue set, pure cotton. Just my style. Ordered. Next, the fridge. Mary used to always say, "This rental is so small, squeezing in a fridge would be a nightmare. Even Mike feels cramped when he visits." I've had enough of not having ice-cold cola to drink. Chose a compact single-door model. Paid. It'll arrive tomorrow. Cola, dumplings, yogurt, all arranged. Submitted the freelance work. Client instantly replied, "Bro, nailed it. Super efficient. We'll hit you up next time." Then tossed another project my way. Without her and that annoying best guy friend of hers bombarding my messages, I work fast as a rocket. Phone buzzes, bank notification, salary plus freelance bonus, total 12,638.5 in the account. Real gold and silver. With money in hand, confidence fills the chest. On the weekend, Jack messaged on WeChat, "George, let's hike the suburban hills for some spring outings. You in?" I replied instantly, "Let's go." The mountain isn't high, but climbing down still leaves me breathless. Wow, you. Not even flushed or out of breath. You used to pant after just 3 flights of stairs. Jack exclaimed in surprise. In my past life, I often stayed up late cooking midnight snacks for her, wrecking my health. Evening at the gym. Treadmill and weights, drenched in sweat. Looked in the mirror. Damn. Is there actually some definition in the flesh on my arm? Jack leaned in with a mischievous grin. Training so hard? What? Preparing for second youth. I punched him lightly. Get lost. Just staying healthy. Got home. Phone ding dong. Text message. "George, Mike's couch is too hard. My back's about to break from sleeping on it. Has the temperature dropped where you are? I didn't bring any thick clothes." Crying emoji, playing the victim, trying to soften me up. I glanced at it. Deleted. Want me to jump back into that pit. Dream on. That day, I went to buy water at the convenience store downstairs from the company. Just as I pushed the door open to leave, I heard Mike's annoying tone. Wow, Mary gets me. The sound quality of these headphones is amazing. Top notch. I paused mid-step and leaned against a glass door. At the convenience store entrance, Mike was gleefully fiddling with a new pair of over-ear headphones, the logo and model on the packaging glaringly obvious. That 2,000 yuan gadget. Mary stood beside him, looking somewhat exhausted. "As long as you like them, I had to borrow money from friend to buy these. George, stop mentioning him." Mike's face instantly darkened as he impatiently slung his headphones around his neck. So damn stingy. Wouldn't even lend me 5,000. And he dares to call himself your man? You know what my ex did? Last time I complained about my mouse, she straight up bought me a 20,000 yuan watch. Now that's true love. He shot Mary a sidelong glance, his face full of disdain. And you? You hesitated for ages over a measly 2,000 yuan pair of headphones. TSK. Mary's face flushed red and pale in turns as she forced out weakly. He's just been. She wanted to defend him, but her voice was pitifully feeble. Mike sneered, stepping closer and lowering his voice, his eyes gleaming with venomous calculation. "Mary, what's the point of sticking with that dull gourd? What can he give you? Look at you, still wearing last year's dress. Why not come with me?" The rest was inaudible, but that greasy look in his eyes made me want to vomit. I gripped the ice-cold cola bottle. I saw it all clearly, crystal clear. That lingering resentment in my heart. Poof, completely extinguished. Just for these two pieces of trash, I wasted a whole lifetime? What a fucking waste. I pulled down the brim of my hat. Twisting off the cap, I took a swig of ice-cold cola. Turning around, I walked toward the office building without looking back. Rather than wasting time watching their melodrama, I'd be better off writing a few more lines of code. Money in your own pocket, doesn't that feel great? The peaceful days didn't last long. While having skewers with Jack, he took a swig of beer and suddenly lowered his voice. George, gotta tell you something. My wife works as a social worker in Mike's neighborhood, you know? My heart skipped a beat. Mary was over there. Jack's expression was somewhat complicated. She said, recently there's been a woman hanging around the community service center, seemingly wanting to inquire about some hardship assistance, borrowing money, and all that, hesitating to speak. The key is, the name she mentioned was for a friend to repay gambling debts? My wife thought the name sounded familiar, and when she came back and asked, damn, it was Mary. My grip on the cup tightened. Jack leaned in closer. And there's more. My wife kept an eye out. She said that guy named Mike wasn't even hiding from debt at home. He's been loitering around the neighborhood every day, playing games, dressed all sharp, and even flirting with a few flashily dressed girls. That face of his, TSK. He even asked my wife about a girl in the next building, inquiring about her home address and whether she's single. Damn it. Behind the scenes, he told people, Mary? She's just a dumb ATM, easy to fool. I gulped down a mouthful of alcohol. As expected. It made me sick to my stomach. In my past life, that bastard sucked Mary dry and indirectly bled me too. Karma? No. She brought this upon herself. Got it. I set the glass down, my voice a little cold. Jack hesitated, then stopped himself. You? The phone rang. An unfamiliar local landline number. I answered. Hello. My voice carried no warmth. The phone line fell silent for 2 seconds before a voice came through, clearly struggling to suppress sobs and sounding much more subdued. George, it was Mary. What is it? My reply was curt. She seemed choked by my indifference, took a deep breath, and her tone was almost pleading. Mike, could you lend me 1,000 yuan? My salary this month. I had to cover some expenses a few days ago. He said there's no food left at home, not even money for meals. Meal money? Huh. I let out a cold laugh, directly tearing through that flimsy veil of pretense. He has no money for food? Then the new AJ sneakers he bought yesterday at XX Mall for 1,280. Was that a hallucination? My friend just sent me photos. Want me to forward them to you? Dead silence filled the other end of the call. Then, uncontrollable, heart-wrenching sobs burst forth, whimpering and weeping like a lost child. I didn't hang up, nor did I offer comfort. I just listened. When her crying became so intense, she could barely catch her breath, her voice hoarse and nearly gone. I finally spoke. Mary, being silly can sometimes be innocence. But being stupid, that's what you are, letting yourself be used as a tool and a wallet willingly. Wake up. His kindness toward you is just an illusion you paid for. The way you come to me for money to fill his bottomless pit looks pathetic and frankly ridiculous. I paused, then added one last sentence. If you come to your senses, come back and take your things yourself. If not, then stay there and keep playing the saintly ATM. The choice is yours. With that, I hung up. This phone call was probably my final and only wake-up call for her. Whether she listens or not is her fucking problem. Another small week passed. One evening, just as I stepped out of the company elevator and walked to the apartment building, under the dim streetlight, a hunched figure crouched at the entrance of my building. A familiar silhouette clutching a small suitcase. Footsteps halted. It was Mary. She seemed to have heard the footsteps and abruptly raised her head. Under the light, her face became clear, haggard as if she were a different person, with sunken eyes, chapped lips, the once spoiled sweetness completely gone, replaced only by an overwhelming exhaustion and panic. Her eyes were swollen red like walnuts, with 2 enormous dark circles beneath them. Her hair was also a tangled mess. When she saw me, she started like a frightened rabbit, springing to her feet with a loud clatter as her suitcase fell to the ground. Her lips trembled, and tears gushed out again like a faucet turned on full blast. "George!" Her voice shook uncontrollably as she lunged forward to grab my arm, only for me to instinctively dodge. Frozen in place, she cried even harder. "I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Sob. Mike. He's just a jerk. A liar. Scum." She accused incoherently, her shoulders shaking violently. "He never owed any gambling debts. He lied to me. He even took my money to chase other women. He insulted me, called me stupid, called me fat, said I was annoying." "George." Tearfully, she took a step forward, her eyes filled with remorse and cautious pleading. "It was all my fault before. I was blind. I shouldn't have considered him a friend, and I definitely shouldn't have put him before you. I'll never do it again. I've cut all ties with Mike. Blocked him on WeChat and calls. Really, look at my phone." She frantically tried to grab her phone as proof. "George, can you forgive me? Can we not be like this anymore? Let's go home. Go home, okay? I'll cook for you. Do the laundry, clean the house. I'll change. I really will change." Her voice was humbled to the dust, carrying a desperate, pleading tone. Looking at her tear-streaked face filled with repentance, a wave of incredibly complex emotions surged within me. In my past life, on that creaky bed in the rental apartment, when she stood me up with the excuse, "Mike is upset. I need to go comfort him," when I heard her say, "He's just my best friend. Don't be so petty," and on that rainy night when I drove myself to the hospital with a fever, had I not begged pitifully, pleading for her to just glance back at me, to see my worth? Now, she finally regrets it, but this remorse comes too late, too cheap. Not because I was ever that great. Simply because Mike, that worst choice, had fully bared his fangs, shattering her illusions. I was her last resort, the not bad option by comparison. I took a deep breath, the cold air of the hallway filling my lungs. "Mary," I called her name, my voice calm, devoid of hatred or any trace of emotion, only a sense of complete detachment. "I heard your apology. Whether it was sincere or forced, I heard it." A faint glimmer of hope instantly lit up in her eyes. But I abruptly changed my tone, severing that sliver of hope. Getting back together is out of the question. That light in her eyes extinguished instantly, and her face turned even paler. Watching her stunned, disbelieving expression, I continued speaking. "It's not because Mike is bad, nor because you were good to him. It's because of me. These past 2 months, without following you around, I went to the hospital and spent money on myself to cure my fever. I drank beer, ate skewers, and talked big with Jack and the guys. I took side jobs to earn money and bought a new keyboard, fridge, and bedding set. I went hiking and worked out on weekends to make myself a bit stronger. I poured all my energy into work, earned money, got promoted. I took back all the time, effort, money, and even my own life that I used to give you. Bit by bit, after taking it all back, I realized living alone is fucking liberating, absolutely comfortable. Mary, I don't want to go back to those days anymore. I don't want to be that on-call guy, always ready to pour out my heart, soul, and wallet. Whether you change or not is your business. It has nothing to do with me. George, I've already moved on." She seemed drained of all strength, tears silently streaming down her face, her lips trembling but unable to utter a single word. Was it despair, reluctance, or finally seeing the truth for what it was? I turned sideways, stepping past her, pulled out my keys, and unlocked the unit door. "Your things are in that cardboard box." I pointed to the neatly packed box placed in the corner by the door. "Take everything that should be taken. Leave nothing that shouldn't stay. Tomorrow, I'll contact the lawyer to handle the divorce." After speaking, I didn't glance at her again and pushed the door open to enter. The hallway door slowly closed behind me, muffling her stifled sobs. Freedom. Complete. The divorce went surprisingly smoothly. On the day we signed the agreement, in the law firm's modest meeting room, Mary kept her head down the entire time, like a puppet staring at the printed divorce papers. The division of assets was straightforward. No car, no house, and almost no savings. Our joint savings had long been squandered by her on Mike over the years. The tens of thousands I'd saved over the past few months weren't even mentioned. Considering we were once husband and wife, I pushed the prepared $5,000 in cash toward her. Take this money. She didn't respond, just stared fixedly at the desk, her fingers clutching the hem of her clothes with force. In the end, she silently picked up the pen and signed. The lawyer confirmed the seal. The end. When leaving the law firm, she walked ahead, never looking back. Her figure was frail. Our marriage, in the end, was like a ridiculous joke, hastily concluded, each going their own way. The week after the divorce was finalized, the quarterly department evaluation results came in. The project I was responsible for was launched on time, with excellent feedback. Paul patted me on the shoulder. "George, well done. This efficiency, this quality, solid. Young man, you got a bright future. A-grade performance this quarter. Officially appointed as your team's group leader. And a 20% salary increase." The payslip arrived, a monthly salary starting at $12K, plus freelance work, a stable income of over $15K per month. With more money, I felt even more confident. First thing, I moved out of that 30-square-meter pigeon cage filled with stale memories. I rented a 60-square-meter one-bedroom apartment in a decent mid-range neighborhood near the company. It faces south and has a small balcony. Sunlight fills nearly half the room, warm and cozy. Bought a small coffee table and a comfortable recliner. It would be a waste to leave the balcony empty. So I went to the flower and bird market and bought a few pots of devil's ivy and succulents that are incredibly easy to care for. Nestled in this little home, I chose and decorated myself. It feels solid and secure. Weekend? No worries about lacking plans. Got a gym membership 3 times a week, rain or shine. Jack invites for drinks and skewers? Depends on the mood. Occasionally dragged to blind dates by the enthusiastic Sue from the office. Met a few times, haven't encountered any sparks yet, but not opposed either. Just treating it as meeting new friends, quite relaxed. Enrolled in a well-known online full-stack development upgrade course in the industry. After work, listen to lectures and do homework. Skills in hand, job security secured. Once, while grocery shopping at the neighborhood supermarket, pushing a cart picking fruits. There was a figure lingering by the shelves. My gaze swept over. It was Mary and her mother. Her mom was carefully picking through a pile of discounted apples. Mary had lost a lot of weight, her oversized old t-shirt hanging loosely on her frame, her hair tied up casually, and her complexion still not great. She spotted me too, her eyes instantly flustered and evasive, tugging at her mother's sleeve to leave. I didn't avoid them. Pushing the cart over, I calmly greeted her mother as she picked up a bag of apples. "Hello, Auntie." Then I turned my gaze to Mary. "Mary." Mary froze completely, keeping her head down and not daring to look at me. Her mother looked up, saw me, and paused for a moment before forcing a smile mixed with awkwardness and guilt. "George, it's you. Oh my, what a coincidence." She looked at me with complicated emotions, then at her increasingly silent and haggard daughter beside her, and let out a heavy sigh. "George, Auntie, Auntie really owes you an apology. It's our Mary. She was too immature before, too unreasonable. You've suffered, child." That word child carried genuine remorse. I smiled and said, "Auntie, please don't say that. It's all in the past. Take care of yourself." Without saying more, I pushed the cart and left. Her life and Mary's life had long ceased to have anything to do with me. To each their own peace, and the skies will be clear. But my sky is now cloudless and bright. 1 year later, a new property development launched. Using the money I had saved, plus a little support from my family, I paid the down payment. An 80-square-meter, 2-bedroom apartment. Neither too big nor too small, with a well-proportioned layout. On the property deed, only my name was listed. Decor style. Simple and practical. My favorite computer desk sits by the window, and the bookshelf wall is filled with professional books and collectible figurines I've hunted down. Things Mary used to dismiss as taking up space or childish toys. The balcony remains open, laid with treated wood flooring, featuring a single rocking chair and a small wooden table. The pothose has grown even lusher, joined by a few pots of vibrant, blooming roses. Now, this truly feels like a home of my own. Jack's wedding is scheduled for May. He was the groom, slapping my shoulder with a big laugh. Bro, looking sharp today, right? Gotta be sharp. Hey, let me tell you, if you hadn't woken up in time and escaped that misery, I wouldn't even have enough groomsmen for my wedding. He was especially excited today. Look at you now. Bright eyes, rosy cheeks, walking with energy, compared to when I first met you. All mopey and droopy, always trailing after Mary. It's like you're a whole new person. Damn right. I'm happy for you, man. The wedding was lively, packed with guests. Jack's wife came over with her bridesmaids to toast. One of them, named Lily, was tall with a particularly refreshing smile, a primary school teacher. After a round of drinks, Jack's wife nudged Lily and said to me with a smile, "Hey, George, don't you always work out?" Lily's been thinking about getting a gym membership lately. You're both into fitness. Why not chat a bit? Lily looked over openly, her eyes curved like crescent moons. George, right? My sister-in-law keeps mentioning how skilled you are with technology. I'm a complete newbie when it comes to gyms. Any recommendations? Which one nearby is better? I had a bit to drink and was in high spirits. I've actually tried out and compared all the nearby gyms with trial passes. That marathon place has a decent environment, and the equipment is pretty new, though it gets crowded during peak hours. Aurora is about 1 kilometer farther, but it's spacious, has a great free weights area, and their group classes are well regarded, especially the yoga instructors, who are really professional. Yoga. Lily's eyes lit up. That's exactly what I'm looking for, a good yoga class. Yeah, the main yoga instructor at Aurora, I've watched her practice. She's professionally trained, her movements are precise, and her explanations are detailed. Definitely not just for show. I recalled for a moment. Oh, and I think she also teaches posture correction classes for kids. Really? That's great. I was always worried about finding an unreliable teacher and developing bad habits. Thank you, George. I'll treat you to a meal when I have time. Lily smiled sincerely. No problem. Let's chat more when we're free. I smiled back. In our subsequent exchanges, we mostly talked about the gym's opening hours, equipment recommendations, and occasionally vented about the awkwardness of not being able to perform certain exercises correctly. Both of us were quite relaxed. Once we happened to meet at the gym and went out for a late-night snack after working out together. We talked about work stress, about eccentric students and difficult demands, about our shared love for mystery novels. When discussing past experiences, she didn't pry deeply, just said naturally, "Who doesn't have a past?" Being able to walk away from an unhealthy relationship and manage your current life well. That's a skill, and it's impressive. No deliberate probing, no cheap sympathy. Natural, comfortable, like the evening breeze in summer. Comfort is enough. The current pace of life is just fine. Later on, once working overtime until very late, I left the company gate. The phone rang. Jack sent a screenshot. It was a long WeChat message from Mary to Jack's wife, who then forwarded it to Jack. The content roughly said, "Sis, I've moved to a new city now. Found a job as a sales assistant in a clothing store. I was too naive and foolish before. Didn't know how to cherish. Now it's too late for regrets. George must be doing really well these days, right?" Jack's wife replied with an "everyone should live well" emoji. Jack messaged me on WeChat. "So, George?" "Watching." I replied with a question mark, then typed, "It's all in the past. How she's doing now has nothing to do with me." After some thought, I added, "Whether she's doing well or not is neither my responsibility nor my concern." At 9 o'clock in the evening, just as I stepped out of the gym, my phone rang. It was Lily. "Hello, brother George. Yeah, just finished working out." I wiped off my sweat. "Last time you said the beef soup at that place on XX Road was amazing. I happened to pass by tonight and tried it." Her voice was full of post-workout energy. It was seriously incredible. "The broth is out of this world. Thanks for the recommendation." "Right? Told you it was authentic." I chuckled. Just around the corner from there, there's a little Sichuan place. Their boiled beef is even better. Want to check it out next time? Really? It's a deal. Lily's voice brightened. I'll definitely take you up on those recommendations. Are you free this weekend? Sure. See you on the weekend. After hanging up the phone, the evening breeze carried a warm touch. Jack once said, "Favoring yourself is the beginning of lifelong romance." I used to think this was sentimental. Now I understand. This is the damn truth. Once you figure yourself out, manage yourself well, and live comfortably, everything that's meant to come will naturally draw near. No need to grovel. No need to be torn between hope and fear. Just like the path I'm walking now, with the gentle evening breeze and a warm heart. This warmth is something I've earned myself, and it's worth sharing with those who truly understand life.